Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Auntie Karen Beyond the Cards. We are going to talk about that crazy train, right? The hamster wheel of failed relationship after failed relationship after failed relationship that so many of us are all too familiar with, right? I can certainly speak to that from firsthand experience, and I can also speak to how I got off of that and found peace. So there's a lot of reasons that come together that cause these repeating relationship failures. And, it really all goes back, some of us, all the way to childhood, in that, many of us were, especially females, but me being a female, I can speak more to that, but like, when you walk down that aisle, you have arrived, okay? And feeling like, you hear terms like my better half, my other half, and, somehow being incomplete alone. And like, there's this societal expectation that we get married at a certain age, that we have children at a certain age. And then there's outside pressures, your biological clock is ticking and all of those sorts of things. And, then you see the Disney movies, where Cinderella is just absolutely miserable, and the rich, handsome prince comes along and rescues her from her horrible situation, and they live happily ever after. And that's actually a pretty toxic story, and something that I personally have, take exception to teaching our children, okay? There is no one that can rescue us but ourselves, but we're raised to believe otherwise. And, we're raised to many of us are raised from a spiritual standpoint that we need something outside of ourselves to make us whole and to find peace, validation, and love. So a lot of the time, the whole reason that we come together in romantic connections, the reasons are altogether wrong, I submit to you, okay? We are looking for the right things, validation, acceptance, and love. We're just looking in the wrong place. And why I say that is because no one can give you those things except you, okay? And it took me a long, long time to see that. I spent many of you know I'm 57. I spent most of my life, I always had to have a romantic partner in my life. And I felt like, I was absolutely miserable. In fact, it was a running joke between some friends of mine, the flavor of the week. Man, if one was gone, I had another one in. I never gave myself time to heal. I never, my motto, the best way to get over one man is to get under another. I used to say it and I used to live it. And what happened is I just continued to get beat up emotionally because I myself was broken. And so I was attracting people that were just like me because like attracts like. That is just science. Albert Einstein spoke to that. So we come together for the wrong reasons. We come together sometimes because we are lonely, because our family is pressuring us that it's time to find someone and settle down. Every one of us is different, and what's right for different people is different at different points in their life, okay? Just because you're a female, that doesn't mean you're supposed to have children, okay? Where's that written, okay? Because I want to know, because it's not true, okay? We were put on this earth for other things, and, having children is great if that's what you want to do. I have a daughter, and I absolutely adore her, but, that's not my purpose for being on the planet, okay? It is one of many, but it doesn't have to be, okay? So we're vibrationally aligned for failure because, and I use myself as an example, as I went along and I would go from relationship and bounce to the next relationship and bounce to the next relationship without healing, I had not broken the vibrational cycle of relationship failure, okay? And so, from that standpoint, and then also unhealed wounds, okay? The wounds from your childhood, whether you were bullied, whether you had trauma in the home or trauma of some sort, Those things, everything that has hurt you and caused you pain, even if you've repressed that, you need to heal that thing, because what is in your shadow self, okay? Your shadow self is also known as your subconscious, okay? By definition, we're not aware of the things that are there, the limiting beliefs, the negative opinions, the self-esteem issue. You're not even aware of it, okay? And yet, according to Carl Jung, a mental health pioneer, it is affecting and dictating every single experience in our lives, both romantically, on the job, with friends, with family. Every experience that you have is 100% dictated by what the beliefs are that are in your shadow, okay? And this is why it is incumbent upon us, if we want to get off this relationship wheel, this failed relationship wheel, right, that we have to start to do the shadow work, okay? And I'm going to go into detail on this channel, but there is help for you on my other channel, Enchanted Cottage 333. There is an entire playlist about shadow work, but we're going to dig deeper into it on this channel as well. It is something that is near and dear to my heart, and the reason is because I lived most of my life feeling like peace just wasn't possible, and I was in organized religion, and yet I never found peace there, and I thought something was wrong with me. I didn't understand that peace had to come from within first, okay, not from an outside source. And I have learned that through experience. I spent most of my life in that situation, and really did not have the peace and the self-love and the self-esteem that I've come to know in recent years. Have I arrived? Of course not. None of us have. We'll be working on this stuff until the day we die. And the longer we wait, the more things build up in that shadow. That shadow is literally the suitcase that you pack away and bury in the back of your closet, okay? And you forget about it, but it is very there. It is very there, okay? And the longer it sits there, the more it affects things. The other thing are our conscious beliefs, okay? I used to go around saying I'm a jerk magnet. I'm a jerk magnet. I just attract narcissists. I'm an empath, so I attract narcissists. Okay, guess what I attracted? Exactly what I said I attracted. I can never catch a break. Guess what? I could never catch a break, right? When it rains, it pours. Frankly, it's monsoon season in my life right now. Guess what I manifested? More disasters, more dumpster fires, not just in love, but in everything. Murphy's Law. If it can go wrong, it will. This was me, okay? I had a really, really different mindset, and it took a lot of work to change that, okay? But over time, and it's just like a diet plan or anything else. When we make these changes, okay, I can't start working out today and then tomorrow, my muscles are going to be huge. It's just not that way. It takes time, okay? Well, the same is true when you make changes to your spirit man, okay, to what you're doing up here, okay? And healing this heart, it takes time, okay? It's just like recovering from surgery in the hospital, okay? It takes time. Okay, and the more wounds that are there, the longer it's going to take. We're all on different timelines, but I can tell you this, and I say this a lot to you guys. We're all just walking each other home. I can't heal you, you can't heal me, but we can certainly stand there and cheer one another on and wish the best for each other. And so I heard people talking, and I thought, well, what the hell? Nothing else has worked. Let's just try it. And I say this a lot. The definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And that's exactly what I was doing from a relationship standpoint, going from person to person to person to person to person, walking away with the same results, and yet expecting something different every time. I mean, if you want something different, you got to do, if you want something you never had, you got to do something you've never done, okay? And if you are like I became several years ago, and you are tired enough of the dumpster fire, I would have stood on my ear. I really would have. I was that desperate. And so, this sounded crazy to me, but on the other hand, I was out of other options. This was all that was left. And I'm not saying it's the only way that works, but it is the way that worked for me. And I talk about those things that I have personally experienced. So while I can't say it's the only way, it's the only way that I found that worked. And I tried a lot of things that didn't work before I stumbled upon the thing that did, okay? I'm still single, but I tell you one damn thing. I'm happy, and I got some solid boundaries, and I have standards right now, and I'm single by choice. Yes, there are people who cross my path regularly who express interest, but for whatever reason, we are not vibrationally aligned, and I know that. And I would much rather be where I am right now, because trust and believe, I feel fulfilled. I feel happy, and I feel loved, and I feel peace in my heart and in my soul, okay? And I would never jeopardize that out of just wanting to be with someone when I know that person is not aligned for me, okay? Is not, on the same page with me about a lot of, their thoughts about relationships and just life and love in general. And I'm not saying somebody has to be identical to me or to you for things to work. No, but I'm not going to entertain somebody with addictions or past bitterness or pain or, temper issues or anything of that nature, okay? And, certainly within reason, some similarity in spiritual, beliefs and values, there's certain faiths that I just would not be compatible with, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. But at the same time, it's not somebody who has to be extremely identical to me, okay? Just somebody that, comes into a situation and makes things better. And that is a Nine of Cups mindset. And that is what poises us, okay, to manifest great love, is when we are not afraid to be alone. We're completely happy being alone. And right now, I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, where I am right now, if I'm single for the rest of my life, I will die a happy woman, and I will be fine. I feel so fulfilled in my life. I am surrounded by people who love me. And I have everything that I could ever want. I do things that make me happy, from a personal standpoint, and I think that is really what life is all about. If somebody comes along and they can take a great situation and make it even better, okay, we'll talk. The Queen of Swords will talk to people, but you just got to come right, and you got to be right, okay? Nothing wrong with that. There's a King of Swords out there, sure. That's why the Queen of Swords has a match, okay? She's not always about cutting everything out. It's just that, like me, and you've seen this meme a lot, single exclamation point, and you got to be fantastic to change that, right? And that's the mindset that you want to aspire to have as far as romance goes and getting off of that hamster wheel, okay? So while I might be single, and I am, I'm certainly off the hamster wheel, right? I'm off the crazy train and have been now for close to 5 years, and I'm thrilled. So with that being said, thank you for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, I hope you'll do so, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day or evening.